The courtroom felt heavier than air that morning. Every sound echoed too loudly: the shuffle of papers, the creak of benches, the soft coughs from strangers who had no idea they were watching my life fall apart. My ex-husband sat across from me, perfectly composed, flanked by his lawyer and two witnesses I had never seen before. He looked confident, prepared, like a man who had rehearsed this moment again and again. I, on the other hand, felt like I was shrinking into my chair. The divorce had been ugly from the start, but this hearing was worse. It wasn't just about ending a marriage anymore. It was about blame, about control, about rewriting history in a way that made him look like the victim and me look like a mistake. One by one, his witnesses spoke. A coworker, a family friend. Each of them told the same story with slightly different words. That I was difficult, emotional, unstable. That I created tension in the home. That I wasn't the mother I claimed to be. Every sentence landed like a quiet accusation. Then his lawyer stood and turned toward the judge.
Calm, polished,
confident. He began listing my so-called failures. How I cried after the separation, how I struggled to sleep, how I once asked for help when everything felt overwhelming. They didn't call it pain. They called it weakness. They didn't call it survival. They called it proof. I wanted to speak. I wanted to defend myself. But I knew better. The moment you sound emotional in court, you lose credibility. So I sat there, hands clenched together, staring at the wood grain on the table, trying to keep my breathing steady. Beside me sat my daughter. She was quiet. Too quiet. Her feet didn't reach the floor, and she gently swung them back and forth, holding a small backpack in her lap. Inside was her favorite stuffed rabbit, the one she took everywhere when she felt unsafe. I had told myself she didn't fully understand what was happening, that she was just tired, that she was bored. I didn't realize she was listening to everything. As the lawyer finished, the judge leaned back in his chair and looked down at his notes. That pause, right there, felt endless. I recognized it immediately. It was the pause before a decision. My chest tightened. I could already imagine the words that might follow. Shared custody. Limited time. More control handed to the man who had already taken so much from me. That's when I felt a gentle tug on my sleeve. I turned my head. My daughter was looking up at me, her eyes serious, not afraid. She leaned closer and whispered, "Mom, can I say something?" Before I could answer, she stood up. The sound of the chair scraping the floor cut through the room. Heads turned. The lawyer frowned. My ex shifted uncomfortably. Children don't interrupt divorce hearings. Everyone knows that. I reached out instinctively, but she had already taken a step forward. She looked at the judge. Her voice was small, but it didn't shake. "Your Honor," she said, "can I show you something?" The room froze. The judge blinked, clearly surprised. The lawyer immediately stood up. Objection. The judge raised his hand. Let her speak. My heart started pounding. I had no idea what she was about to do.
None.
She reached into her backpack and pulled out an old tablet. The screen was cracked along the corner. I recognized it instantly. It was the one she used to watch cartoons on at night. I thought it had stopped working months ago. "I have a video," she said quietly. "I saved it." My ex's face changed. Just for a second. But I saw it. The judge leaned forward. "What kind of video?" She swallowed. "One my dad told me not to tell anyone about." That was it. The lawyer tried to speak again, but the judge stopped him. "Bring the device here." My daughter walked forward, holding the tablet with both hands like it was something fragile. Something important. The bailiff took it gently and handed it to the judge. The judge glanced at the screen, then looked up at my ex. "Is this your child's device?" he asked. My ex hesitated. I don't know." The judge pressed play. The screen lit up. The video showed our living room.
Nighttime.
The camera angle was low, shaky, clearly filmed by small hands. My ex was sitting on the couch. Next to him was a woman I immediately recognized. Not one of the witnesses. Not a friend. Someone else entirely. They were laughing, drinking, talking freely. Then the conversation turned. I'll say whatever you want in court, the woman said, if it helps your case.
My ex laughed. Good.
As long as they believe she's unstable. The room went silent. My stomach dropped. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. The judge didn't move. The lawyer didn't breathe. The witnesses stared straight ahead, frozen. The video continued. My ex bragging about coaching testimony, about telling my daughter what to say and what not to say, about how the court always sides with the calmer parent, about how he'd make sure I lost credibility. Then his voice changed. Don't tell your mom about this, he said on the video. This is our secret. The video ended. No one spoke. The judge slowly set the tablet down. He looked at my ex, then at the lawyer, then back at my daughter. His voice was steady, but firm. Did you record this yourself? She nodded. I didn't know if it was bad, she said. But he told me to hide it. The judge exhaled slowly. He turned to my ex. You will remain seated. He turned to the lawyer. Your witnesses are dismissed. This testimony is compromised.
He looked back at me.
For the first time that day, someone really looked at me. The ruling didn't take long after that. Objections overruled. Evidence accepted. Credibility destroyed. What my ex had built with lies collapsed in minutes. But the moment I will never forget didn't happen when the judge spoke. It happened afterward. When the room emptied and my daughter came back to my side, she slipped her hand into mine and whispered, I didn't want them to believe him. I knelt down and hugged her so tightly she laughed through my tears. That old tablet didn't just play a video. It played the truth. And in that courtroom, for the first time in months, silence wasn't fear. It was justice.